Lo yasir shevet miYehuda umchokek mibein raglav ad ki yavo Shilo v'lo yikahas amim. This pasuk, which part of Yaakov's bracha to Yehuda, which describes the emergence of David HaMelech, or the Malchus in Yehuda as a whole, and eventually culminating with Melech HaMashiach, with Shiloh. This pasuk contains an interesting word, which has almost no parallel in all of Chumash, certainly, and maybe one parallel in Tanakh as a whole, and that is the word Yikahas. The Rishonim try to understand, what does this word mean, Yikahas? Rashi and the Ramban debate the meaning of the word, and in the course of the debate, I think we can find an interesting reflection of two important ideas when it comes to Talmud Torah. Rashi says that Yikahas means to gather together. That the nations of the world will gather towards Melech HaMashiach. Not that he will conquer them, but they will be drawn to him. He will be a touchstone. People will look at him as somebody worthy of admiration, and obviously through him to come to greater appreciation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, U'mallah ha'aretz Yetz Hashem, being the goal, and Elav Goyim Yidroshu being the means to that goal. Rashi brings a raya to his pshat from the Gemara Nivamos. The Gemara Nivamos on Daf Kuf Yod Amud Beis says that there were two Amoraim who were maku kihuyasa beshuka de Pumpadisa. Rashi says, what were they doing? They were sitting in the shuk of Pumpadisa. Maku kihuyasa. Rashi says, makilim kihilos. Makilim kihilos. They were gathering people together. Two Amoraim were learning. They were learning, but they were gathering people. There's a certain quality to the Talmud Torah in that they gathered many people together to join them, or that people were maybe closer to the Pshat, that people were drawn to them. They were learning, and people were drawn in. The people saw the Talmud Torah happening, they were drawn in. The Ramban here disagrees with Rashi. He says Yikahas, or Kehiyah, does not mean to gather together or to be gathered, but rather it means to weaken. To weaken. He brings rayas for his pshat, and he says that in the pasuk what it means is that Melech HaMashiach will subdue other nations. So he will be a figure whose authority subdues other nations. What about the Gemara Nivamos? The Gemara Nivamos that says the two Amoraim were maku kuyasa beshuka de Pumpadisa. Ramban says that they were makshim kushios. They were asking kashas of each other. They were kashas, he says, that weaken, that are machlish, that mirov tsar v'yagon. A strong kasha weakens a person. It makes him weak and subdued. So Rashi and Ramban debate the pshat and the pasuk. They have two different, very important, interesting perspectives on the role of Melech HaMashiach. Is Mashiach going to be a person who subdues other nations? Or it's not necessarily in conflict, but just another aspect of him, that he is somebody who draws other nations to him, that people are drawn to him, people see the value of being close to him and appreciating what he brings to this world. In the course of their machlokas, though, what we've seen is two approaches, two understandings of what is the value, or what are two of the values in Talmud Torah, or two approaches in Talmud Torah. One is the makim kihilos approach, where people are gathered together, or even without necessarily having to gather them, people are gathered, people just join, people see the light of Torah, people see the warmth of Torah. Two Talmid Chachamim who are discussing Torah together, people are drawn in. And in another perspective, that the power of Talmud Torah is dafka in the Mechamta Shel Torah, makshim kushios, machlishim, people, two Talmid Chachamim who are asking kashas and weakening each other and feeling the tsar of the pursuit of emes, which Be'ez Hashem, when it comes to its conclusion, is a great onek. But the derech to get there is the tsar of the kasha. This week, I guess, this week in Yeshiva, it's a very special thing we have here in Kam B'Yavneh, the Iyun Bechina, and we have both of these at the same time. We have the tsar, you can really see it on the faces of Talmidim, the tsar of the kashas, the tsar of not knowing, the tsar of putting yourself through the process of coming to emes, and then the beauty of the whole yeshiva sitting down to sit in Akilim Kihilos, the whole yeshiva sitting down to take the Bechina. To me, it's always one of the highlights of the year. Really, one of the highlights of the year is the whole yeshiva sitting down and taking their Bechinas on the Masechta together, and we have the Akilim Kihilos. And when you see a whole yeshiva, when you see hundreds of people drawn in, this deep deep in their own sugyas, each one working his way through his sugyas, each one working his way through his bechina, So it draws you in. You say, wow, this is an amazing thing. If people are so invested, it must be so worth it. It must be so beautiful. It must be so incredible to be involved in the Isaac HaTorah. So Baruch Hashem, we have today in Yeshiva, we have the two pshatim of the Rashi and the Ramban of Yikas, both the tsar, the asking the kashas and trying to come to understanding, and the beauty of the kehilos gathering together for Talmud Torah. And B'ez Hashem, all of us, it's something that we should always look out for, opportunities to have both of these, to experience the Mechamta Shel Torah, not just to enjoy Torah, and not just to have it come to us, but to ask kashas, to be bothered, to experience the tsar of not knowing, and to use that tsar to get to the place of a true oneg, of arriving at the emes, and two, to put ourselves in situations where we can also see the beauty of kilos gathering together for Talmud Torah, whether it's to come back to yeshiva for a visit, whether it's in a Yarchei Kala, whether it's in a Shabbos afternoon, and the opportunities that we have to gather in large multitudes to experience the beauty of Torah b'rabim. Good Shabbos.